Hello FlossTube, Stacy here again. Happy Easter to everyone today on April 1st, also April Fool's Day. And I just wanted to make a little video of some progress that I have made over the last few weeks that I haven't done any videos or anything. So I made a project journal. I had a small finish that I had, and then a new start that I'm really enjoying. So I'll show you all of that and go through my project journal with you on this video. So let's start with the finish. This is what I finished, the kitchen jars, and I did everything on here, including all the French knots. I know I said in the past that I give my finished stitching to my mom to do the French knots and the cording and stuff. Well, I did everything on this one, and I got some practice in with the French knots. I can't say that I love them any more than I did before, but I'm better at them, so I don't know. All the little pink dots in here, those are French knots. The yellow down here, French knots. The loops and the little pink flowers in here are French knots. So that's that, and I put it in a little frame from Michael's because this is just a 5x7, so I was able to frame it myself since it was a normal dimension of a regular frame. The butterfly is also a finish that I had from years back, right there. So that one was a Dimensions, I don't know if it was a gold collection, I don't think it was, but Oriental Butterfly is the name of that one from Dimensions. And this one was also Dimensions. So, I had just started the project my very first project that I have ever done on linen. And I really like linen. Linen is softer, it's more pliable, it is pretty easy to work with. I was a little bit timid about it at beginning, but I've grown to actually really like it. And I used 28 count linen. So I had gotten the Nora Corbett Moonlight Laguna Mermaid, and that's what I had started, and this is what I have done on it. Probably hard to see, sorry guys, but that's what I have done on it. I did it on kind of a tealish color type linen, you can see. And since I liked it so much, I went ahead and kitted up the mermaid that goes along with that one, Sunrise Laguna Mermaid, and she'll be going on kind of a purpley type linen. Same dimensions, so I got 28 count for that one as well, and kitted her up with that. To go along with it, I was talking about needle minders and I didn't know if I was ever going to get one. Well, I got one, and I ordered it off of Etsy from Cassie's Needle Minders. Here's her card, if that'll focus in. Come on, you can do it. Anyways, Cassie's Needle Minders off of Etsy. And this is the one that I got. A little purple-haired mermaid to go along with my mermaid stitching that I did. And since the weather wasn't quite cooperating with her when she was curing my Little Mermaid needle minder. She sent me one for my time that I was waiting for the mermaid. So I got one for my time. And this is what she sent me as a bonus. So cute. Which is kind of perfect because whenever I was younger, for whatever reason, I think it's because I liked glowworms. My nickname was Worm whenever I was little. So I have 2 needle minders now. I have to admit though, I still out of habit stick the needle through the fabric or through the pants leg while I'm switching floss. Just out of habit. I mean, it's just what I do. So that's my whip that I started on a couple of weeks ago, and my little finish that I had. So other than that, I made a project journal, and this is just a 3-ring binder. The project journals that I was looking up online did not have the things that I was interested in having. I'm a very, I don't know what word to use, but I like paperwork, and I like logging stuff, and I like very pristine and accurate logging. So I made my own pages. And so inside my project journal, here's the charts for the mermaids. I have a few tabs, which I'll probably add to this. This is just what I could think of that I wanted to do off the top of my head. So I'll probably add to it, but there's my 4 tabs that I have. I have whips and stitching logs, SALs, and then I have an inventory and information on my YouTube channel. So I'll just go through it with you in my project journal here. The first whip that I have are the 2 mermaids, and this is the one that I just showed you. This is the one I'm doing on teal, and this is the one that I'm doing on the purple. And they go together. They have the same dimensions, so like I said, I did the 28 count on both of those linens. And the first page I have on my projects is just an informational page. It has dimensions. It has the other pattern that goes along with it, if it has any sister patterns or anything like that, and the fabric that I use to do it. The second page, come on fingers. The second page of each project is a list of supplies and prices. I like to know how much money I spent to get the supplies that go in each project, so that way if I ever decided that I wanted to price my cross stitches or my crafts and sell them or anything like that, I know how much I put into it. And the next page in my journal here tells me how much time I have put into it. It's a stitch log. And what I did with this was I have the start date at the very top, and then I have how much time I worked on it, and I'm just using my stopwatch on the phone, and how many stitches I did and how many stitches per minute on average it is. So that way I have a log of my time, I have a log of how much money I've spent on it, and so I can accurately price my products should I choose to sell them. And then right after that, I have the Sunrise Laguna Mermaid that goes along with it, the orange and purple one. And I put those behind the same tab. So my next project that I have in here is not necessarily a whip because I haven't started it yet. But this is the Disney characters that I bought the patterns on Etsy. And there's all the information on page 1 about the pattern and all of the dimensions and all of that. Page 2, it has the supplies and how much they cost. So that way I know how much money I spent on it. And then I have on page 3 again the stitching log, which has nothing on it yet because I haven't started it yet. And then this is the printout of the pattern, and well, this is one pattern and this is another pattern, but I am putting the two together on one big piece of fabric. Well, kind of. So I'm putting the two together into one project, and here is the list of DMCs. So for this project, all that I have done thus far is get my fabric, which is a 18 count Aida, and I put it on this scroll frame. I could not tell you for $1,000,000 where this scroll frame came from because it was my mom's and she had it in the 70s. So I have no idea. It's the only one. I did go and buy a scroll frame with intentions of fitting this on here, and the dimensions of it said 18 inches. Well, it was not, because the wooden dowels, they were 18 inches total. So once you put the sides in on there, then you really have like 16 inches. So it didn't work for me. So I got out this old one from the 70s and put my black Aida on there. You can see it. And my project is actually going to be a lot longer than what this piece of fabric is. And I have an idea as to how to connect them without a gap in my project. But if anybody has any ideas on how to connect two pieces of fabric without any variation in the pattern, like just, you know, row after row after row after row, and all of a sudden you're in a different piece of Aida, please let me know. The idea that I have is to put a piece of just cotton behind it and stitch through the cotton as well as the Aida and hold it in that way. But I'm not going to know if that's even going to work until I get that far. So let me know if you guys have any ideas on any of that and how to put two pieces of fabric together in one project that has continuous full coverage rows. Okay. Oh, and here are, I kitted that one up, and here's all the floss for the Disney characters. Speaking of floss, well, I'll show you in a second. Alright, so next I have another Disney stained glass project that I'm going to do. I haven't kitted anything up yet. I've just printed off the picture and the floss list that goes along with it. So that's behind my next width. And like I said, this is not just a cross-stitch journal. This is for all my crafting things. So my next one is actually a crochet item. It's a temperature blanket. and I just have information about the project on the first page. The second page is all my temperatures and what color goes with each temperature. If you don't know what a temperature blanket is, it's kind of a cool idea. You take the average temperature of that day, and that is the color that you're going to use on the row on your blanket that day. I'm not doing mine in rows, I'm doing mine in granny squares, which I'll show you in a second. But it's kind of a cool little project, and after the entire year you'll have a blanket that shows you basically what the temperature was for that year. This is just where I'm logging it for each day, so I know what color each day was. And then like I said, I'm doing granny squares instead of rows. So I have a picture of what it is so far. Here in February, we had a couple of warm days. That's what the yellow is. The dark purple is really cold days. And I'm in the mountains of North Carolina, so the weather is crazy. You can be wearing a coat one day and a tank top the next. So I'm starting to think that it's looking kind of like a kindergarten project, but we'll have to see what it looks like whenever it's all done for the entire year. Because I have no idea how it's going to turn out. I'll just show you what I've done on it already. I haven't done the entire first quarter yet on here, but I've done a lot. Here's that. So it's kind of, I mean, it's just a little, I'm not going to say too colorful because I love color, but as you can see, like, you're going to have, in the mountains of North Carolina, you're going to have days that are warm right beside a day that's cold, and it just kind of looks like it has no rhyme or reason to it, but it does. Anyways, that's a little project, not having to do anything with cross stitch. But behind my next one, I have diamond painting, which I do also, but all I'm going to do for the diamond painting is log my hours. Okay, next tab, which is the stitch-alongs and events. And you guys might think this is crazy, but I have only ever done one, and it was just off Stitch Mania Facebook group, and that's the only one I've ever done. It's just to take part in the community there. Next tab, inventory. So here's where I have my needle minders and where I got those from, how much I spent on it. So that list is pretty short too right now because I only got the one. And then after that, I have a list of DMC, a couple of different kinds of list of DMC. I have one that's just a bunch of numbers, and then I have this. And the one that I'm using is just a black and white printout of all the DMC. You can see, and I've put X's beside the ones I have. The way I'm sorting my DMC floss is I'm just going by their order that they give. So I'm going in this order, and I'm kind of going by this chart as to what order to put mine in my boxes. And you can get this at pretty much any craft store, but I got mine at Michael's on clearance for like $3. But I'll tell you all the DMCs. So that's how I've sorted mine. And of course, I have a bunch out for the Disney characters kit as well as the mermaids kit. So I'm missing a lot out of my main boxes there, but that's how I've been sorting them. And then, let's see here. After that, I just have my YouTube log, which right now, since I've just been doing YouTube since mid-January, what I have written down is just all my videos and how many views they have, and for each month, as well as the number of subscribers. Just so I know how many people I've gained, how many views I've gained, stuff like that. So that is my whole project journal. And just information on where I am right now. This is the kit for, this is what I kitted up for both of the mermaids. And they have beads and all that good stuff in there. And I just wanted to show you guys what my progress has been over the last few weeks. And I had that little finish, and then I started on the linen, the first linen piece I've ever done, and I am really liking it. So here again is the piece that I'm working on now, as well as the fall fairy, but I haven't done much on it since I started this one. And I just wanted to give a little shout out as well to Rachel in Stitches. She's another FlossTuber, and she has some very similar taste as to what I have in patterns. She likes the Nora Corbett, and she likes well, and she turned me on to the Chatelaine, but I just don't see myself spending that much money on one cross stitch project. And it's such special stitching and things, but Chatelaine is absolutely epic patterns, and I just really love watching her video, Rachel in Stitches, about all of the little projects that she's working on, and she is doing some Chatelaine now, and she's been pretty supportive of me, as well as the rest of the FlossTube community has been very supportive and making nice comments on my videos to me, and kind of cheering me on. And I just want to thank everybody for watching and showing me that support, because it's kind of rekindled fire. So I hope that you enjoy my videos, and thank you to everyone for watching. Be sure to follow me on Instagram as well, Stacy Noelle CP, StacyNoelleCP on Instagram. Thank you. Bye.